50 Cent is having the time of his life right now because Rick Ross just pulled off one of the biggest scams in history, this time on Big Meech. Now, word on the street is that Meech has allegedly put a hit on Ross, but here's the real kicker. Everyone saw this betrayal coming except for Meech himself. The internet is devouring this drama like it's the season finale of the wildest reality show ever. But seriously, what did Meech expect from an ex-cop? Let's dive deep into this rabbit hole.
Rick Ross knew perfectly damn well what he was doing and what that would lead to.
50 Cent has been throwing some serious subliminals at both Big Meech and Lil Meech ever since Rick Ross threw Meech under the bus. But the craziest part? Big Meech was out here cozying up to Rick Ross like he was his personal savior as soon as he got out of prison a few months ago, rather than keeping his distance and showing love to the man who actually kept it gangster with him. Meech linked up with Ross, fully knowing that Ross has been one of 50's longtime enemies. Now, while 50 wasn't expecting Meech to treat Ross like a sworn enemy, seeing Meech grinning in pictures with him and acting like Ross had been holding it down for him for the past 2 decades, that had to feel like a knife straight to 50's jugular. And of course, the betrayal didn't stop there. Meech twisted the knife even deeper by linking up with Floyd Mayweather, while Lil Meech, despite everything 50 has done for him, was out here talking about real power. Like, is this how you repay the man who literally gave your son $5 million and a whole career? Sure, people say 50 made millions off Meech's name, but at least he built something from it. What did Rick Ross do other than play Meech like a game of chess? Ross knew this whole situation was bound to turn into major drama, and he played it perfectly. Chasing clout, soaking up attention, feeding his ego. Then, the moment things started heating up, what did he do? He pulled away before anyone could even process what was happening. I mean, how else do you explain the fact that the second things got messy, Ross suddenly developed a shoulder injury and made sure the entire internet knew about it?
What I'm doing right now, my shoulder broke, but we still getting to the money. We still counting paper. This ain't a pump and dump, baby.
Suddenly, we're all supposed to feel bad for Rick Ross? Yeah, right. But here's where things get even wilder. Ross wasn't just using that shoulder injury as an excuse to distance himself from Big Meech. Nope. He was also using it as a cover to dodge his own fans. The same fans he scammed with his crypto coin, Boss Token. People all over the internet were calling him Ruggy Ross because of how he pulled the rug out from under everyone who trusted him with their money. It's safe to say he hit the ground hard too. And let's not forget, it was just days after he lied to Big Meech and got exposed that he magically ended up with that broken shoulder. Coincidence? Yeah, sure. And here's the kicker. According to rumors, Rick Ross was the one hyping up Big Meech, telling him to go ask 50 Cent for more money. You literally can't make this stuff up. Now, as it stands, Meech has nothing to his name. And that's exactly why other artists are avoiding him like he's got some kind of curse on him. Even those Wingstop franchises that people thought Big Meech would benefit from, word on the street is that Ross quietly sold off most of them, leaving just a couple behind, just enough to funnel the money into his real estate business. And get this, if Ross hadn't meddled, Meech could have been making a serious comeback in the industry. Instead, he kept making reckless decisions. Meanwhile, Lil Meech was out here blowing millions on Chrome Hearts jeans, trying to keep up with stars like Gunna, and now, everything they had is gone. At this point, people are clowning Big Meech for how fast this so-called friendship with Rick Ross blew up in his face. One of the loudest voices, Michael Rainey Jr., who straight up said he doesn't feel bad for either Big Meech or Lil Meech because they're grown men and should have seen this coming from a mile away. And of course, 50 Cent was off in a corner of the internet, doubling down on all of it.
I feel bad for Lil Meech. I don't feel bad for no grown man on this planet. Like, I'm a grown man. Why the fuck I gotta feel bad for another grown man? Like, you a grown man too, nigga. What you asking for my sympathy for, nigga? You be alright. Oh, yeah, nigga.
I mean, everyone already knows how ruthless 50 Cent can be when it comes to his beefs. Even DJ Vlad agrees. 50 is the last person you want to be on bad terms with, because if there's one thing about him, he'll burn it all down just to make a point.
We'll burn it all down if you piss him off. His own sometimes too. You know, he'll cancel BMF to prove a point. Regardless of how much money he makes.
Big Meech isn't the first person Rick Ross has left high and dry. He's got a history of doing this. He literally did the same thing to his own crew, leaving them to get beaten up in Canada, only to come back later and claim he was just testing them to see how strong they were. That's a diabolical move, but honestly, that's just how Ross has been moving this whole time. Even Whack 100 called him out, saying Ross is the real bad guy in this whole drama with 50 and Big Meech. And the craziest part? He saw it coming from the jump.
Bad guy out of all of this.
Who's the bad guy? I don't think there's a bad guy.
No, yes it is. Yeah, Vlad, let's talk about it.
I think Meech is the one that made a mistake.
No.
No? You think 50?
No.
Lil Meech.
No.
Who am I forgetting now?
Rick Ross knew perfectly damn well what he was doing and what that would lead to.
Rick Ross was never a real friend to Big Meech. He knew exactly what he was doing from the start. He hyped Meech up, made him think they were allies, and turned him against 50 Cent with big promises of setting him up for success. But in the end, it was all just talk. As much as people hate to admit it, Whack 100 had a point. If Ross was really serious about helping Meech get back on his feet, he would have kept their business low-key. But nope, he was too busy running his mouth, roasting 50, and claiming he was going to buy the rights to the BMF series, knowing damn well he was never going to do it. And now? None of that is happening, and Ross has gone completely silent on Meech. The only thing Ross is promoting these days is whatever makes his own pockets fatter. And Big Meech? He's no longer part of that equation. And here's the part that has everyone's jaw on the floor. Word on the street is that Ross was actually the real reason Big Meech's Welcome Home benefit concert got canceled. The whole time, we were made to believe 50 Cent was behind it. But in reality, Ross didn't want Meech reaping the benefits of that event, or making a real comeback. He wanted Meech stuck in his shadow while he played the good guy for the public. I mean, when 50 posted and later deleted that message saying, "I had nothing to do with this. Please stop calling my phone. I sincerely hope you have a nice day today. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm stronger than you think." A lot of people doubted him. But now, it's all making perfect sense. Meech really thought Ross was on his side, especially because of that whole BMF song where Ross rapped, "I think I'm Big Meech." But here's where things get even crazier. What if Ross didn't just idolize Meech? What if he actually wanted to be him? Think about it. Ross has a history of building his brand off other people's identities, especially infamous rap kingpins. It's not even up for debate. The man literally took his stage name from the real Rick Ross, a notorious drug kingpin who was sitting behind bars at the time. And when the real Rick Ross got out, he called him out and even tried to sue him. Now, that's wild.
Feel about the rapper Rick Ross having the same name?
Well, the fact that he stole my name, not that we had the same name, he actually stole my whole story, my identity, the whole thing. Mm-hmm. You know, he built his career off of my legacy.
This all went down in 2005, and by 2010, the real Rick Ross, the one who ran a massive drug empire in the 80s, filed a lawsuit against rapper Rick Ross for trademark infringement and misusing his identity. But instead of taking accountability, Ross claimed he made up the name himself. By 2013, a judge ruled in Ross's favor. And let's be real, he was richer, way more famous, and let's not forget, used to be a cop. So, of course, everything was already working in his favor. And get this, the judge claimed that Ross's use of the name was protected under the First Amendment as free speech. With that ruling, the real Rick Ross lost the case, and William Leonard Roberts II got to keep the name just like that. So, knowing all this, is it really that crazy to think Ross was trying to pull the same move with Big Meech? First, he drops BMF rapping. I think I'm Big Meech. Then, the moment Meech gets out, he cozies up to him, making it seem like he's got his back. But when it came time to actually help Meech make a real comeback, he was nowhere to be found. And this isn't even the first time Ross has pulled something like this. Just look at what he did to Larry Hoover back in 2021. Ross has a long history of name-dropping real street legends to chase clout in his music, especially while they're locked up. Word on the street was that he even paid millions to the gangster, Disciples, just so he could keep using Hoover's name. But when it actually came time to stand up for Hoover's cause and show real support, he ghosted. Instead of putting in real effort, he was just out here name-dropping and profiting off Hoover's legacy without doing a thing to give back. And let's just say, people dragged Ross for that. To this day, some still say he fumbled and was too scared to even show his face at the stadium. And now, here we are again. History repeating itself. No wonder 50 Cent once said he's never respected Rick Ross as a person. Because let's be real, dude can turn on you at any time.